America hands over its democracy to 4 private, for-profit corporations. But do they work? Are they secure? Can they be hacked? Johns Hopkins computer science professor Avi Rubin addressed those same questions in 2003 when he examined Maryland's Diebold touchscreen machines.
My research team analyzed the source code in the Diebold voting machine, and we found a lot of security problems and wrote a report that got a lot of national attention and led to a lot of the debate around whether we need voter-verified paper records or not in electronic voting machines.
Now, a highly confidential study commissioned by the state of Maryland to investigate Professor Rubin's concerns has surfaced, indicating that Rubin was right. The Scientific Applications International Corporation, the SAIC, issued a report to the state of Maryland indicating that their Diebold touchscreen machines do not work, are not secure, and can easily be hacked. Experts say this is the smoking gun that proves Diebold knew their machines were flawed and that Diebold tried to cover up those flaws. But few people ever got to see this report until just before the midterm elections.
Well, I've compared the 285
Cybersecurity expert Stephen Spoonamore is the man major corporations, banks, and governments go to protect them against computer hacking and fraud. He showed up at the Maryland State Board of Elections meeting in Annapolis 2 weeks before the midterms with the report in hand and demanding answers.
If I were handed this report, I would have to immediately shut down a system and do an investigation for fraud.
Afterwards, the board members expressed their shock.
I have no idea how you got that.
Yeah, and
As a matter of fact, I've never seen it like that before. I've seen a redacted that's blacked out, not lined out.
Even they had not been able to easily obtain it.
We had to sign blood to borrow the report, okay? It really concerns me that this is a security risk.
Why the concern? A 38-page report was eventually made public, but not the real report, which is nearly 200 pages. And the difference between the redacted report that Diebold would show the public and the real report is vast. The original SAIC report states that the State Board of Elections does not require the secure transmission of the election vote totals, stating that those results, quote, are transmitted over a private point-to-point connection via modem. In other words, when vote totals are transferred, there are no firewall protections, so a hacker at any time can intercept the data and alter the vote totals. The redacted Diebold version leaves that out. And Diebold didn't just omit things, they actually added words to make the report sound better. The original report says, Diebold stated the devices do not operate on the internet and that the state's procedural controls reduce or eliminate many of the vulnerabilities identified in the report. But the redacted report replaces the word stated with the word affirmed, and then adds the words, if not all. Diebold affirmed that the devices do not operate on the internet, and the state's procedural controls reduce or eliminate many, if not all, of the vulnerabilities identified in the report. The study further states that Diebold electronic voting machines do not have controls to detect unauthorized users, stating, quote, failure to have controls for the detection increases the likelihood of system attacks and, consequently, of system compromise. The redacted report, you guessed it, completely omitted. Diebold, now Premier Election Systems, insists despite the numerous flaws and successful hacks to their software, their machines are invulnerable to attacks in a real election. But no one can know for sure since the software that processes and counts America's votes is as secret as the formula for Coca-Cola or the recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Computer experts say that's why the unredacted conclusions of the original SAIC report are so damning. Because of the secrecy, experts say the only way to know if the vote is secure is to have optically scanned paper ballots and voter-verified paper trails with random audits.